Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Julbo Frequency cycling sunglasses. The new Julbo Frequency sunglasses combine the brand's bold styling with a slightly smaller semi-frameless construction. These are a more conservative variation of the Julbo Density sunglasses and offer medium coverage with the same modern features for optimal performance on or off the bike. In terms of packaging, you can see it's very simple. You just have the Julbo box with their branding on there, your standard warnings, and then the version that we have here with the specific color and lens combination. I'll go ahead and open this up. We'll go over the specs. So retail price on this ranges from $129.95 all the way up to $229.95, which is the photochromic REACTIV version. That's what we have here. So it's actually photochromic and it'll adjust to the environment. These have a cylindrical lens, so you can see it's highly curved. So you have a nice wrapping design that goes around your face and offers a very wide field of view. These are constructed from a bio-sourced Rilsan frame. So it's a very durable and lightweight material that's great for high performance sports like cycling or running. These have grip-tech temples, so it's a nice non-slip rubber material that's super flexible. And again, they're available in the REACTIV lenses or the standard Spectron version, which is significantly more affordable. In terms of what comes with these, obviously you get the sunglasses. You get this nice branded fabric bag, which is great for transporting it. A little pamphlet that gives you some of the lens information. And then you also have this nice collapsing case with the Julbo branding on here. You can see it's a semi-rigid one, so the top and bottom face have this rigid construction while the inside is just fabric, so it folds nice and flat, which is more convenient to travel with than your standard zippered hard case that you see with other sunglasses. Now let's take a look at the weight of the sunglasses. So with the REACTIV lens, comes in at a very lightweight 16 grams. Visually, the Julbo Frequency have Julbo's bold yet refined styling. They use smooth curves and sharp creases. These are a semi-frameless design, which means there's no frame on the bottom and you have a big single-piece lens. You can see there is a nose bridge connecting the top of the frame to the nose pad section, but otherwise you can see nice wide field of view with no frame on the bottom. There's also a cylindrical style, so you can see how curved it is. So it really wraps around your face for a nice wide field of view, which is really important when you're doing high intensity sports like cycling. Julbo currently offers these in 7 different variations that pair either the Spectron lenses or the photochromic REACTIV lenses to specific frame colors. The frame colors vary from more standard matte black and pastel pink to more interesting options like the translucent frames or color shifting versions. We have the burgundy and light gray one, and it almost has a metallic finish that you can see as the light hits, it almost changes color. So it's a very cool effect that makes it stand out, and it's a lot more interesting than your standard matte colors. The light gray is also a really nice accent color, and that's on the grip-tech temples and the nose pad rubber, which really go well together. Branding on here is limited to the Julbo logos on the temple arms, and then you have REACTIV printed on the lens itself. In terms of the frame, these are constructed from bio-sourced Rilsan, so it's a lot lighter and more durable than standard plastic, and you can see highly flexible. So it should definitely work well in high intensity sports, and if you drop it, you don't have to worry about it getting damaged. Julbo has used this semi-frameless design again, which means you only have a thin frame, and you do have a nose bridge, which you can see connects the nose pad to the top of the frame, but it's all super light. You can see a very smooth contour, so nice soft curves, nice interesting style elements like this little triangular piece in the drop down that goes to the temple arm. And then you have this little indentation here in the temple arm, which cuts inward and then flares out. As you can see, the temple arm is a straight design, but it does curve inward, so it really hugs your face. And to avoid any pressure points, this is very thin and lightweight. So you can see with just a little bit of pressure, they'll flex, and it has the grip-tech material, which is just a non-slip rubber material. But you can see super soft, and then the tips are just that rubber, so you won't have any pressure points. The temple arms also have a auto lock feature. So once you get close, you can see they kind of snap into place. You also have the very thin frame here, so you can see at the attachment point, You have this little bolt and this cool kind of step down design. These lenses are also removable, so it's a single piece lens. And if you just push up on the lens, you can see on each side, there's little hooks that attach it to the frame. Once you have those off, you can slide upward, and then you can see you just have the frame itself. So super light, and the only interesting thing here is the nose pad, which has these dual vertical pieces that attach it together with this nose bridge. The lens itself, you can see very cool. It is vented on the top, so you can see a little cutout, and there's nice little features like the etching on the edge of the lens, which prevents it from getting damaged when you rest it on the table or any other hard surfaces. Julbo doesn't currently have any spare lenses on the website, but for all their other versions they do, so we do expect them to add it. To reattach them, simply slide the hook in place and then flex the frame back into the corresponding slot. Then you can push down on the nose bridge section, and because it's vented here, you have a nice big opening. So very easy to use and swap out. This is the reactive version, so you honestly don't need another pair of lenses. This varies from the 17% all the way up to 75% VLT, which is visible light transmission. That means this can go from category 1 to 3. And you can see here it's pretty transparent, but this will also work in bright sunlight as it goes all the way up to category 3, which is really impressive. So I highly recommend it. It's very expensive to upgrade, but essentially you can wear this in almost any condition from overcast to full sun, which is really nice. Here you can see the sunglasses on the road. And with their smaller size, the frequency look great on or off the bike. They're not oversized, so as you can see here, you have plenty of room from the top to your helmet. And then even the bottom side doesn't really extend out in extreme amounts. So they actually look good when you're going around town or driving. The sunglasses are also super lightweight and very comfortable. You have the nice grip tech material on the temples, and they're highly flexible. So you can wear these on all-day rides. You'll never have any pressure points. They also look great because you have all these different frame color designs and lens colors. So you can see with the reactive lens we have, they have a nice mirrored effect, so like really cool. And the frame color is slightly color shifting as well, so adds a little bit more uniqueness to it. Otherwise, really impressed with the sunglasses. Again, lightweight and comfortable. And then the optics with the photochromic reactive one are one of the best we've used. You have a very wide range of VLT, so you can use this in overcast and fog like we're using here, or use them in full sun without ever having to touch the lens. They automatically adjust really quickly, and they really increase the contrast for everything so you can see debris or anything on the road before you get there. We're lucky enough to have reviewed quite a few Julbo sunglasses, so we actually have the Density here. So here we have the Density and then the Frequency on the right. So you can see very similar styling. Obviously Density is just bigger. So you can see if we open them up, put them side by side, the profile on the Density is taller, so you have more coverage. It's more of a large coverage, while the Frequency is a medium. But otherwise the design is very similar. And you can see that same kind of color shifting property. So you can see with the Julbo, it's a little more obvious, the blue to purple, while this burgundy color is a little more subtle, but it still appears to have that a little bit of metallic flake in it. So both are very cool. And you can see they're not overly aggressive in terms of styling, so they do look good on or off the bike. Julbo also has their Edge sunglasses, which is a full frame design, but it's concealed by the lens, which is actually magnetically attached, so you just pop it off. So a pretty cool design, obviously much larger, and they definitely look a little goofy off the bike. So you can see, put them side by side. These are taller, wider in almost every dimension, so definitely more extreme, but look a little cooler on the bike. There's also tons of other options on the market. There's the Coup Supernova, which is their super light variation. This is essentially a frameless design, so you can see no frame, temples are attached to the lens itself, and they're both cylindrical, but this one's even more extreme, so you can see how curved it is, and even the temple arms curve inward with the same kind of high flexibility. Oakley also has some cool options. Here we have the encoder, so you can see almost a beak design, so it kind of curves inward around the nose piece, but again, the temple arms are directly attached to the lens. And to give the lens a little bit of structure, it has this little curve edge along the top with some ventilation. But again, definitely looks goofy off the bike, while the Julbo looks a little more standard. There also is the Shimano S-PHYRE. And this actually is a metallic finish. So you can see very glossy. And this red really looks cool. Straight arm design that goes right off the top. And this is semi-frameless as well, but you can see no nose bridge. You just have a separate piece for the nose pad. But otherwise very similar. And this one actually is quite a bit more affordable, but it doesn't have the photochromic variation. There also is the sweep protection rig, which is an interesting variation of the semi-frameless. So you only have the frame on the sides versus the top. So it's kind of a blend between full frameless and semi-frameless. So you have just partial frame on the corners. The nose pad is quite a bit different. You can see it's actually a removable design, highly flexible, while the Julbo one is almost an integrated design with just this rubber pad on there. We also have the Smith pivlock. So this is a frameless design, so you can see it just attaches. And what's cool about the pivlock is that the lens attachment has this cool kind of pivoting design. So you can see I rotate up and then pull it off. So very easy to swap lenses. But that's actually something you don't need with the Julbo, especially if you go with the REACTIV, as you don't really need to change the lens as it works in quite a wide range of environments. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Julbo Frequency. What we like about them is you have great optics. As with all Julbo sunglasses, they're nice and clear. And they really amp up all the colors, and especially with the REACTIV version that's photochromic, you pretty much have one lens that covers any environment. You also have a smaller form factor with the Frequency, so it looks great on or off the bike. It's not overly styled or oversized. It also has sleek styling with a lot of color options, so you can find the right frame and lens combination that works for you. The main con for these is the fact they are pretty expensive. There's a lot of premium sunglasses they'll cost quite a bit to invest in, but the REACTIV lens are worth it as you never have to swap them out. Taking everything into account, we give the sunglasses a 9.1 out of 10. They offer big performance in a smaller package. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at The Sweet Cyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.